Oh yes, on the African scene, we have Malawi facing urgent humanitarian crisis as the president declares state of disaster over drought. Well, the president declared a state of disaster due to drought in most of the country's provinces, with more than 200 million US dollars in humanitarian assistance urgently needed. Now we wonder, because it is really tough for the farming households, with 2 million of them being affected by the dry spells. They're in need of food. The World Food Programme and the Department of Disease Management Affairs are already working on distributing food in some districts. It is a challenging situation, but hopefully with the presidential initiative to stop hunger and support from locals and the international community, we hope that they get the help that they need. With climate change comes this type of disaster. It is great to know that the World Food Programme and the Department of Disaster Management Affairs are already distributing food in some districts with a presidential initiative to stop hunger and support from locals and the international community.
Still on the adverse effect of climate change, in another day of fasting during the holy month of Ramadan, with the Azan calling Muslims to prayer, Sierra Leone, with its soaring temperatures, presents a challenge for fasting. The early season heat wave in West Africa has made fasting even more challenging. To shed light on the intersection of climate crisis and religious teachings, Africa News spoke with Islamic scholar Dr. Ahmed Ramadan Jallo. Dr. Jallo contextualizes the situation by referring to Islamic teachings and the promise of special water for those fasting in hot conditions. He also emphasizes the importance of taking precautions and preserving the environment amidst rising temperatures. The confirmation that 2023 was the warmest year on record by the World Meteorological Organization highlights the need to address climate change urgently.
Well, in Senegal, with its election, the long-awaited elections in Senegal, Dakar, had supporters of presidential candidate Bassirou Diomaye Faye waste no time in celebrating. Even before the official results were announced on Sunday night, the streets were filled with hundreds of thousands of people who relied on early trends to show their support. The headquarters of the Diomaye President Coalition became a gathering place for the enthusiastic crowd backing the candidate. One voter expressed their happiness with the work done by the entire coalition, seeing the victory as a triumph for the people of Senegal. Another voter carrying the Senegalese flag emphasized that this win was not just for Diomaye but for the entire nation, highlighting the democratic and rule of law values that was upheld by Senegal. While official results are expected within a week, some of the other candidates have already conceded defeat and congratulated Diomaye Faye with over 7.3 million registered voters. The atmosphere during the vote counting was tense in some areas, with incidents of booing and stone throwing reported in St. Louis. Despite these supporters of ruling party candidate Amadou Bou still holding hope for runoff. Former Prime Minister and Economic Minister Ba has announced that he will share his assessment of the election results by Monday. Now, many supporters also believe that Bassirou Diomaye Faye will bring positive change to Senegal, and they see his victory as a triumph for the people and have high hopes for the future.
That's not all. In recent development today, Senegal's incumbent president Macky Sall has congratulated Bassirou Diomaye Faye, the 44-year-old opposition leader. It's amazing how he's poised to become the next president, especially after being released from prison just 2 weeks ago. According to the Senegalese news agency, they said they have to wait until April 3rd for the official results from the Constitutional Council. It's also interesting that a former prime minister who was backed by President Sall considered defeat based on preliminary results. Diomaye Faye seems really grateful for the support of other candidates and their congratulatory messages. During this address in Dakar, he promised to rule with humility, fight corruption, and work towards Africa's political and economic integration. The supporters of Bassirou Diomaye Faye must have been so excited and hopeful. It's amazing to see how people come together to support their candidate. We can only hope the election results bring positive changes for the people of Senegal.
Oh well, in Chad, its historic presidential election The Chadian electoral authorities have given the go-ahead to 10 candidates for the highly anticipated presidential election. Among them are interim President Mohamed Idris Deby and newly appointed Prime Minister Success Masra. However, it is worth noting that outspoken opposition figures Nasser Ibrahim Negi Kusami and Rakis Ahmad Saleh have been disqualified from running due to irregularities in their applications, as stated by the Constitutional Council. This election marks a significant moment in Chad's history, as it will be the first time that a president and a prime minister will compete against each other in a presidential poll. The first round of voting is set for May 6th, with a provisional second round scheduled for June 22nd. These elections are an important step to Chad's transition back to democracy after being under military rule. But we can expect provisional results to be announced on July 7th. Sadly, amidst the preparation for the upcoming election in Chad, there was an explosion that occurred during a patrol, according to the government, resulting in the death of 7 soldiers. And it is believed that Boko Haram extremists from Nigeria may be responsible for this attack. This incident raised concerns about the increase in violence near the border. That's about it on the African scene. Coming up next, news from across the globe.